The woman who gave birth in a burning bus, and her baby was unharmed. She didn't know she was walking into fire. All she wanted was to get home safely. After 3 powerful days of spiritual refreshing at a Deeper Life Women's Retreat, Sister Grace boarded a bus, heavy with pregnancy, but light with joy. Her heart was full. Her spirit was at peace. But life can change in a second. She had no idea that the bus she entered would burst into flames, that her water would break inside a burning vehicle, or that God was preparing a miracle no one would believe. This is not just a story of survival. This is a testimony of supernatural birth in the middle of death, and how one woman's unshakable faith brought her and her newborn out of fire untouched. It was supposed to be a joyful return. Sister Grace had just finished a powerful women's retreat with the Deeper Life Bible Church in a cure. Her soul was refreshed, her face glowed with peace, and her heart overflowed with gratitude. She was 7 months pregnant, traveling back to Lagos to reunite with her husband and her little daughter. The testimonies at the retreat were still ringing in her ears. Healings, reconciliations, breakthroughs. She never imagined that her own story would become the greatest testimony of all. The bus was crowded as usual. The driver was in a hurry to beat the notorious Benin traffic. Passengers dozed, some listening to gospel music on their phones, some chatting about politics and the rising cost of living. Sister Grace sat by the window, gently humming a hymn to her unborn child. Great is thy faithfulness. The baby kicked softly in response, as if dancing in worship. Then, everything changed in a heartbeat. A loud screech, a deafening crash, the sound of metal tearing through metal. Tires screamed, and then fire. A fuel tanker, driving recklessly, had lost control and collided with vehicles ahead. Flames erupted from the base of the tanker and raced toward the parked commercial buses. Screams tore through the air as passengers scrambled to escape. Black smoke poured into the cabin. The windows wouldn't open. Heat consumed the bus like an angry beast. Men shouted. Women cried. Children wailed. The air became thick with panic and burning plastic. And then, Sister Grace's water broke. She gasped, her voice barely above a whisper. Jesus, not now. Please, Lord, not here. Not like this, but her body betrayed her panic. Contractions started hard and fast. Her breathing quickened. Her heart pounded. She was going into labor in a burning bus. The passengers were pushing over each other. Some were jumping through broken windows. A woman kicked out the emergency hatch. A man screamed as the flames licked his sleeves. The fire climbed up the back of the bus. The roof began to melt. Heat wrapped around them like a furnace. But Sister Grace couldn't move. She was on the floor, soaked and trembling. Her hands gripped the back of a half-melted seat as her body began to push. She screamed in agony, not from fear, but from pain. Lord, you're the same God that entered fire with the 3 Hebrews. Enter this fire with me now. There was no one to help. No midwife, no phone, no husband. Just fire, just smoke, just her and her God. She turned her face upward, choking through the heat, and began to pray. Her voice cracked but didn't stop. You are my deliverer. You are the God of wonders. You can bring life where death surrounds. Help me, Jesus. While others tried to escape the blaze, she was giving birth inside it. Outside the bus, chaos reigned. Onlookers shouted. Some recorded videos. Others screamed for help. But no one dared to go near the flames until a teenage boy did. Tund, just 17, had been selling bottled water on the roadside. When he saw the burning bus and heard a faint cry for help, something inside him wouldn't let him walk away. While adults stood back in fear, he ran forward. He climbed on the roof of the burning bus, used a plank to break open a small back window, and slipped inside through the thick black smoke. And there he saw her, Sister Grace, on the floor, her dress soaked in sweat and fluid, holding a tiny newborn baby. She was too weak to speak loudly, but she whispered, "Help my baby, please." The boy knelt beside her, trembling. He took off his shirt and wrapped the baby. "Let's go," he said softly, lifting her with strength beyond his years. He led her toward the exit, shielding her from falling embers. The flames roared just inches away. With one final kick, He forced open the emergency door and pulled her out. The moment they stepped out of the bus, a second explosion shook the highway. Fire shot up into the sky. Glass shattered. People screamed again. But Sister Grace and her baby were already safe. Gasps filled the air. People wept. Some fell to their knees. Others ran toward her in awe and disbelief. "She was inside that bus," someone shouted. "She gave birth inside the fire," another cried. But Sister Grace could barely speak. She held her baby close, tears streaming down her cheeks. "God brought us out," she whispered. "He was with me. He was really with me." She was rushed to a nearby hospital. Doctors were speechless. No burns, no smoke inhalation, no scratches on the baby. Blood pressure normal, pulse steady, lungs clear. They had no explanation. But Sister Grace did. She named the boy Ebubchukwu, the glory of God. News of the miracle spread quickly. Blogs, Facebook pages, and WhatsApp groups lit up with the story. "Woman gives birth in burning bus," headlines read. "Mother and child survive explosion unharmed." But those who knew the real story didn't just call it survival. They called it divine intervention. Her husband, Brother Joshua, wept as he held her hand. "You were chosen," he said. "God used your womb to prove that he still delivers from fire." Tund, the teenage boy who rescued them, became a guest of honor at Deeper Life Youth Fellowships. "I don't know what pushed me," he said, "but something told me go. I didn't even feel the heat." The church supported him with scholarships and mentorship, calling him the angel in slippers. Months later, Sister Grace shared her story at conferences and crusades. Her testimony turned hearts. Choirs turned it into songs. Pastors preached about it. And every time she lifted baby Ebubchukwu up at altar calls, people cried. Not because of the fire, but because they saw a living miracle. Today, Grace no longer fears the storms of life. She faced the worst and came out singing. When you pass through the fire, she tells others, you won't be burned if God is inside the fire with you. And baby Ebubchukwu, he still kicks his feet every time he hears hymns. Because even in the womb, he learned what it means to worship in the fire. She gave birth inside a burning bus. What God did will shock you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more faith stories like this.